And how this works is, let's take this IV therapy where I'm doing an IV arm, and it's with a check sheet. It's on a table. It's perfect height. I got it. I'm excited. Now we want to make it a little bit more difficult for the student to learn through this progression of learning. So now I'm going to take this IV arm and let's put it down on the floor, and let's just give them a little mini story, as Gordy calls it, or a small scenario. You know, it's a 47-year-old female. She's in the teacher's lounge. Just got done teaching history. Is having difficulty breathing. You show up. What are some of the things you're going to do? Or we might, get some strips going. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to start an IV. Great. Why don't you start the IV? This time I'm doing the IV. I'm down on the floor. It's a little bit more difficult. I'm starting to think. There's a little mini story. There's no checklist. What am I doing? I'm starting to get a little bit more difficult. I'm starting to have patient encounter information. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this information in as a patient. And it's very important up here. We've added these spots here for a formative scenario. Any type of formative scenario is this little mini story, that Gordy Cox has talked about and I've heard other people use. And we're going ahead and making things a little bit more difficult. This is going to be a formative skills scenario. The student is going to put in the age. Here's where I can follow that reference guide that you're going to email to all of your instructors and maybe laminate and put in your labs to view. It's going to tell you exactly what needs to get done. They will put in some sort of a impression. And I did an IV. I performed it. Oops, not 156. Here's where it went. I did it on the first attempt. I was successful. Yes. They also do need to check, and it's going to be in that reference guide. These two, I performed the interview and exam. By doing this, I don't have to put anything else. I'm now getting credit for an IV, and it's going to populate into column 2, and it's coming from a formative scenario. I can hit save. Now, as things progress, maybe before you send your students into a clinical setting, you have them practice IVs on themselves. So this is a live patient encounter. If they go ahead and input the patient, and then when they click, instead of being a mannequin, if they go ahead and make it a live patient, then we're going to populate that into column 3, which is the column where it's keeping track of just those individual things. But if you're doing it in a lab and we have a human patient and I did an IV, it will go into table 2, column 3. If it's done on a mannequin, these formative scenarios will go into table 2. As we progress more and more through a more evolved, and now we're thinking, oh, this is more of a summative scenario. We're prepping for maybe psychomotor exam for National Registry. We're really throwing a lot of stuff at them. What's the magic number? Nobody knows. I've heard where people use simulation and scenarios and really getting confused on that. And I think it's really about when are we really throwing some stuff at them? And they're going to be doing multiple things and having multiple tracks of thinking and critical thinking kicking in, and they're managing the scene. At that point, we're going to say this is a summative scenario. And now this is going to start populating into, think of table 2, column 4. And also, when we're running scenarios, we're also going to be impacting possibly table 3. And I'm going to go back and show you all those if we have time. But we'll be impacting table 3 that way. Was I the team member? Was I a successful team leader? Now we'll start getting credit for different things. And as you're filling out these patient encounters, either formative or summative, if there's multiple things that they can start getting credit for, we will populate. In this one example here, this student would get success for an IV. We'd say this is a mannequin. So they get success for an IV, and they would also get success in table 3 for a successful team leader. So as they start qualifying for multiple impressions and things like that, we will go ahead and put those into multiple tables, columns, and rows within FISDAP. And all of this is what's made this thing extremely difficult going through. That's what we're doing in the lab as they're inputting things from a clinical standpoint or a field standpoint. Again, this is all prior to field internship or capstone. If they're doing general EMS ride-alongs and getting some field time, or they're in the clinical period, when they're inputting their data, it's going to populate where it needs to.